It started small. A message from an old coworker popped up. "Chloe, been posting again," he wrote. I opened the screenshot and froze. Her caption said, "Some men can't handle strong women." No names, but the breadcrumbs were obvious. Same city, same office layout in the photo. The comments section lit up with sympathy. I closed the app and told myself to ignore it. Not my problem. But ignoring a spark doesn't stop a fire. At work, people's smiles changed. The casual hellos turned into awkward silence. A designer who used to joke with me now avoided eye contact. Coffee breaks felt like interviews I hadn't applied for. Someone whispered my name in the hallway. It stopped when I turned around. I could feel the story spreading. A version of me I didn't recognize was walking the building. Maya noticed first. She asked why people were acting weird. I shrugged it off. No reason to feed the rumor. Then one Friday morning, everything snapped. I walked into the lobby, half awake, holding coffee. By the elevators, I saw Chloe. Perfect posture, fake calm. She wasn't supposed to be there. She didn't work here anymore. She looked at me, waiting for a reaction. I gave her none. Just walked to the badge reader and kept moving. The air behind me felt heavy. By noon, people were whispering again. Someone from sales said I'd lost it near the elevators. Another mentioned an incident. I checked my calendar. At 10 that morning, I was in a budget meeting. 9 witnesses, screen shared, recorded. The elevator story made no sense. But sense doesn't matter when people are bored. Maya texted me during lunch. "Something off, HR looks tense." I told her I'd handle it. That night, I couldn't shake the feeling. Rumors move fast when they're spicy. I reviewed my phone logs. No calls, no messages to Chloe. I checked my badge data just in case. Every swipe matched my schedule. I even exported the files and labeled them. If this turned into something official, I'd be ready. Still, part of me hoped it would fade. Maybe Chloe just wanted attention. Maybe people would forget by Monday. I was wrong. The next morning, a coworker sent a warning text. "Dude, she's saying you followed her." My stomach turned cold. Not because it was true, but because lies with the right buzzwords travel faster than truth. I sat down, opened a blank note, and started typing. Timeline, dates, meetings, witnesses. Every detail from June until now. If this became a battle, I wouldn't fight with feelings. I'd fight with facts. Maya called that night. She said, "We stick to policy, logs, receipts, proof." I agreed. No panic, no anger. Just paperwork. That's when I knew this was no longer gossip. It was war disguised as office drama. The email came on a Monday morning. Subject line, fact-finding meeting 10:00 a.m. No context, no attachments. Just that empty dread sitting in my inbox. Maya looked at me across the room. I nodded. "It's happening." She mouthed, "Stay calm." I joined the meeting 1 minute early. The HR rep, Denise, smiled like a dentist before drilling. Beside her sat Colin from compliance. Both looked rehearsed. "This is a neutral inquiry," Denise said. "No inquiry that starts like that is ever neutral." She read the allegations slowly. Chloe claimed I cornered her by the south elevators. That I touched her waist. That I told her she'd regret leaving me. She also said I'd been texting her from a new number. Late at night, persistent, inappropriate. Each sentence was a brick in a wall I didn't build. I stayed silent until she finished. Then I opened my calendar. "Wednesday, 10 a.m. budget review," I said. 9 people in attendance. All logged, all recorded. I listed every name, including our controller. I mentioned the building rule. South elevators require badge access between 9 and 11. No record means no presence. Denise hesitated. Maybe the time was off, she said. The report quotes the time, I answered. Colin scribbled notes like his pen was on trial. They showed me screenshots of texts. Green bubbles from a number I didn't know. The messages were vague, generic. You looked good today. Let's not pretend. Timestamps overlapped my meeting. Grammar looked like it was written mid-scroll. No photos, no proof. Have you used another phone? Denise asked. No, I said, not ever. She nodded, but didn't look convinced. HR never deals in truth. They deal in liability. I knew their next move before they said it. While we review this, please work from home. 60% pay. No communication with coworkers. No discussion of the investigation. I asked for the policy reference number. She blinked, surprised, but gave it. I wrote it down. When the call ended, I didn't throw my mouse. I didn't yell. I opened a new folder on my personal drive. Named it Receipts. Inside, I created subfolders. Badge logs, meeting exports, phone records. Everything that could prove reality. Then I started a timeline. Each date since June, cross-referenced with access data. If they wanted facts, I'd drown them in precision. Maya texted, "You okay?" I replied, "Working on it." That night, I couldn't sleep. HR had fired people over less. I replayed the meeting in my head. Denise's tone, Colin's half smile. They weren't looking for truth. They were looking for closure. And they'd already picked the ending. I decided not to fight their feelings. I'd fight their files. By the time I shut down my laptop, every log, every timestamp, every witness was saved twice. Because I knew what was coming next. And I wasn't planning to lose. The call came 10 days later. Another HR invite. No agenda, just follow-up. I joined on time, calm but ready. Denise was there again. Colin too. And a new face, Pamela from Employee Relations. She spoke like she was reading a verdict. After reviewing all information, the allegations are credible. I kept my face still. Pamela continued, "Your employment ends today." No proof, no discussion. Just corporate poetry about values and integrity. I asked for 3 things. Written reason, copy of the complaint. Confirmation of evidence preservation. They refused the complaint, but noted the footage request. I thanked them. Left the meeting. 5 minutes later, my access died. Email gone, VPN dead. Teams logged me out mid-sentence. Termination clean and silent. I opened the severance email next. 8 weeks of pay if I signed away my rights. No rehire, no disparagement. A neutral reference if I kept quiet. I stared at the document, then closed it. They thought I'd break. They didn't know me. I started labeling files. New folder, legal. Subfolders, HR, compliance, building, partner company. Every email exported. Every log verified. I wasn't angry. I was methodical. Maya called after work. "They let you go," she whispered. "Yes, policy 422, behavior inconsistent with values." "That's garbage," she said. "I know, but it's also evidence." I reached out to Mark's attorney that night. Told him everything. He didn't hesitate. "Don't sign. We'll send preservation letters today." By morning, HR, compliance, and the building manager. Each received certified letters with timestamps. I also filed an appeal through the company handbook. It forced documentation, not mercy. Appeals create paper trails, and paper wins. Next, I drafted a complaint to the state agency. Wrongful termination, false report, retaliation. I attached calendar records and badge logs. Times, locations, witnesses all meet. No adjectives, no emotion. Just truth formatted like evidence. Then I wrote to the partner company. Subject: potential misconduct by employee Chloe Anderson. I listed her visits, her access logs, her false report. I cited their ethics policy word for word. Professional conduct, data integrity, honesty. I requested acknowledgement and copied my attorney. The next week, HR replied to my appeal. Decision stands, no apology. Just a PDF signed by a director who'd never met me. It didn't matter. My lawyer was already working faster than they were. We filed for unemployment, attached their vague policy. Either they'd prove misconduct or admit they couldn't. Both options favored me. I spent the weekend sorting my documents. Badge data, meeting recordings. Chat logs showing timestamps overlapping accusations. Each folder labeled, checksum added. No gaps, no noise. By Sunday night, I wasn't furious anymore. Just focused. They took my job, but I still had the truth. And I knew exactly how to weaponize it. My lawyer moved fast. Preservation letters went out Monday morning. Certified mail, return receipts requested. Copies to HR, the building, and the partner company. He said, "We're locking the record before they rewrite it." I nodded. Let's make it official. Then I filed a report with the state labor agency. No emotion, just documents. Each line written like a ledger entry. I wanted a trail, even time couldn't erase. Next came the partner company's ethics hotline. I submitted everything. Dates, badge logs, system access, even elevator camera IDs. I mentioned Chloe's unauthorized visit that same day. No adjectives, no insults. Just clean, cold data. They replied with corporate politeness. "We take this seriously." Translation: they were scrambling. I also filed a non-emergency police report. Not a complaint, just documentation. If things turned ugly, I wanted a case number. The dispatcher asked, "Is anyone in danger?" "No," I said, "just preserving facts." The next morning, my lawyer drafted the demand letter. Rescind termination or face defamation. He attached proof. Meeting recording, badge events, camera logs, timestamps. Every piece aligned. HR didn't respond for a week. Then came a short email. "We're reviewing your claim." That's legal speak for, "We need more lawyers." In the meantime, I built order from chaos. Hardware return forms, serial numbers. Photos of every company device I still had. No one would accuse me of losing a mouse. Maya checked in every night. She said, "Keep it boring, paper wins." I smiled, always. We both knew HR hated confrontation more than truth. They'd fold before they fight in daylight. I spent evenings building my master file. PDFs stacked like dominoes. Every log cross-checked, indexed, time-stamped. If this became a lawsuit, I wanted perfection. By Friday, the first response arrived. The partner company confirmed an internal review. They'd found access irregularities linked to Chloe's account. Unauthorized logins, expense tampering. The email ended with one sentence. "Her employment has been terminated." I stared at the screen, silent. Not triumph, just relief. Maya texted, "One down." I replied, "Two more to go." That weekend, we reviewed my company's severance offer again. Still insulting, still vague. My lawyer countered. Real pay, real benefits. Neutral reference, written confirmation, no misconduct found. He sent it with a deadline. "Clock's ticking," he wrote. Corporate fear rose under time pressure. Days passed in quiet precision. No shouting, no revenge speeches. Just letters, emails, signatures. Each piece moved like chess. I didn't need justice to feel loud. I needed it to feel final. When you fight with logic and timestamps, you don't have to raise your voice. You just let the truth do the heavy lifting. And soon, it started working. The settlement email arrived on a Tuesday morning. Plain subject line. Resolution terms. I opened it without breathing. $185,000 lump sum. 12 months of health coverage. Neutral reference with scripted language. Mutual non-disparagement clause. And one critical line. No findings of harassment associated with your name. No apology, of course. Corporations don't do feelings. But the wire cleared before lunch. I labeled the screenshot, "Math wins." Maya called an hour later. "They paid?" she asked. "They paid," I said. She laughed quietly. Then her tone shifted. "They fired me this morning." I froze. "What?" "Policy concerns about interpersonal conduct." Translation: guilt by association. They needed a scapegoat to look serious. Her email said she had to return her laptop by Friday. I told her, "Call your lawyer now." She already had. By the afternoon, her attorney sent a demand letter. Retaliation, wrongful termination, optics. The company panicked again. They forgot she had filed the relationship disclosure months ago. Fully approved, 0 conflicts. Her record spotless. By Friday, they offered settlement too. 6 months pay. COBRA coverage. Mutual non-disparagement. Neutral reference with lawyer-approved language. She accepted. Texted me later, interest collected. We didn't celebrate loudly. Just sat on the couch, silent. 2 people who survived corporate warfare. The partner company confirmed Chloe's termination that same week. Access abuse, expense fraud. No ceremony, no excuses. 1-sentence email. Her employment has ended. I didn't gloat. I archived it under receipts. Everything had come full circle. The company that fired me was bleeding credibility. The partner that sheltered her was now exposed. And Maya had turned her own injustice into leverage. I realized revenge didn't have to be loud. It could be clean, precise, documented. My lawyer closed the file with one last message. "Congratulations, you beat them at their own system." He wasn't wrong. I paid his invoice and smiled. Worth every cent. Maya and I spent the weekend cleaning our inboxes. Deleting old chats, organizing receipts. It felt like disinfecting our lives. No more corporate poison. No more fake apologies. Just quiet satisfaction. We went out for dinner that night. No champagne, just tacos and peace. Maya raised her glass. "To boring victories," she said. I clinked mine, "to receipts that never lie." We laughed for the first time in months. The world outside kept spinning. But inside our little apartment, everything finally made sense again. We didn't need revenge stories anymore. We had reality. And reality had paid in full. After the dust settled, I built something new. I took the settlement money and made a plan. No luxury trips, no revenge spending. Just structure, stability, purpose. I registered a small consulting firm. Clear Trail Consulting, LLC. Mission statement: fix the compliance gaps that almost destroyed me. I focused on access audits, data trails, and process checks. The boring things that save companies from their own chaos. I spent weeks designing the framework. Hired an accountant, built a clean website. Paid for proper insurance and encryption tools. Every dollar had a reason to exist. Maya helped pick the logo. She said my first design looked like a crypto coin. She wasn't wrong. We laughed, scrapped it, and started again. The new one was simple. A path leading forward, quiet and straight. I liked that. It felt like breathing again. Maya stayed at her new job. She liked her team, and her boss respected boundaries. We kept our lives separate but solid. Dinner together, Weekends off, no workplace drama. Our relationship wasn't built on chaos anymore. It was built on calm. Every morning, I worked from my home office. Coffee, silence, focus. Clients started coming through referrals. Mid-sized companies that didn't want to get sued for sloppiness. I taught them to keep logs, verify facts, preserve evidence. Paperwork is your shield, I'd say. They listened because I'd lived it. The irony wasn't lost on me. The same system that tried to erase me now paid me to prevent its own mistakes. Maya called that poetic. I called it balance. Months passed quietly. We took a short trip to the coast. No phones, no emails. Just rest. I realized peace doesn't announce itself. It just shows up one morning and stays. Then one Saturday, the doorbell rang. I checked the camera feed. Chloe. Perfect suit, messy eyes. She stumbled on the wet grass, nearly fell. I didn't open the door. Maya came beside me, calm as ever. Record, she whispered. I did. Chloe shouted that I'd ruined her life. Her voice cracked, her heels snapped. She tried to step forward. Maya said, leave the property, you're being filmed. Chloe lunged again, slipped, and hit the ground. We didn't move. I called the non-emergency line. Reported a trespasser, possibly intoxicated. Officers arrived within minutes. Body cams on, questions brief. They escorted her away with a warning. No shouting, no drama. Just order. When the cruiser left, Maya squeezed my hand. You okay? She asked. I am, I said, finally. That night, we sat on the porch. Quiet, calm, free. The only sound was sprinklers and wind. No more rumors, no more chaos. Just peace earned the hard way. Paperwork won again. The next morning felt different. No calls, no messages, no noise. Just the sound of coffee brewing and peace. Maya read on the porch, sunlight on her face. I checked emails, none marked urgent. For once, silence meant safety. Chloe's trespass report became a simple line in a file. No charges, just a warning and distance. The house finally felt like ours again. No ghosts, no echoes from the past. I looked around my office, full of order and calm. Folders stacked neatly, everything labeled. Each document a reminder of survival. We didn't win through anger or noise. We won by staying steady. By proving that truth doesn't need to shout. It just needs to exist long enough to be seen. Maya smiled and said, you really built peace from paperwork. I laughed softly. Maybe that's what justice looks like. Not applause, not revenge. Just quiet mornings that no one can take away. The world moved on. So did we. And somewhere in all those receipts and logs, I found the one thing I'd lost for months. My peace.